I'm so fortunate to have the opportunity to thank you personally and speak to you about the importance of your generous donations that you provide to Dickinson ISD students. The funds that you supply are allocated to providing students with the opportunity in the garden to do hands-on scientific exploration and experimentation. Because of your generosity, students in our district get to implement state standards in a meaningful and relevant way. In their words, they grow food from seeds to harvest, and then they actually get to eat it. They learn about the dedication that it takes to take care of a living organism over time. And they also learn what happens when you don't take care of that living organism. In the outdoor classrooms that are spread all over our district now, they have the opportunity to observe the visits of different bird species, find the tracks of small mammals, create living habitats for observation in the classroom, and take responsibility for providing those visitors and habitats with food and water. All of these things are state teaks. You know, they are all lessons that our children must learn. The opportunities like this are vital for our students. Some of our students live daily existences in concreted apartment complexes. I have students who tell me their parents tell them they can't play outside because it's just not safe. These students don't have the memories that so many of us have of visiting grandparents back at the old home place, where maybe there was a big garden and some fruit trees, and grandpa might have even run a few head of cattle. Our country has changed so much in the last 50 years that these old home places, they don't exist for our children. They have nowhere to observe and participate in the natural growth cycle of the earth, or to observe any part of animal life cycles or migration patterns or seasonal changes. Your generous donations support these opportunities for our children to become scientists and to implement the scientific method in ways that they'll never forget. The outdoor classroom utilizes the scientific method in ways that just can't be duplicated with worksheets in the classroom or even with media technology. On behalf of my students, I want to thank you for giving me the opportunities to provide them with the very best learning experiences.
Thank you. A math and a club asking kids to stay after school to do math does not sound like something we were going to get teenagers to do. And so in my first year at McAdams, I opened the math club, and I was a 7th grade pre-AP teacher. And I started with about 15 to 20 of my students, and the money that we spent was just whatever I could sneak onto the credit card that my husband wasn't going to notice. And then somebody had the wise idea to tell me that there was this thing called the DISD Education Foundation, and there were grants for innovative programs. And I was like, how is a math club an innovative program? And they said, because we've never had one before. So I applied for a grant, and I was told to be specific. And so I budgeted out, and I came up with $1,022.77, which I rounded up to $1,023, and I got it. And they came to the school, and they had the big, ticker tape parade, and we were whooping and hollering. And I felt like I had won the Publishers Clearinghouse. I mean, it was amazing. Pictures, the kids got to see it. There was so much excitement. And the money was budgeted so that we could actually do things like origami, which is what our big unit is. So they take a flat sheet of paper and they learn how to make stellated icosahedrons out of 12 to 30 folded pieces of paper, which we then apply the Euler's formula and figure out how we have the corners and the sides and all the different angles. And that's actually, the origami paper is a big part of the budget. It goes for buses so that we can go to the competitions, and it pays for our entry fees. So these students will actually study for math competitions and go spend all day on a Saturday at University of Houston taking tests in various mathematical fields. And it pays for the other various things that we do. We do math and art, we do math and science, we do math and sports, we do math and history. These are all topics which the students get to choose and get to pick what they want to do. So we relate them to the current TEKS, but I'm simply the facilitator for their learning. They get to explore math in ways that there's just simply not time for in a classroom setting. We bring in speakers from the community. We have bankers, we have chemical engineers. University of Houston has sent college professors in architecture and in other subjects to come and talk to the students about how there are math careers that are not just math teacher, which a lot of them think that if you're good at math, that's the only career that you're gonna have. And basically, we went from the first year with 15 to 20 students to I now have 45 to 50 come every week, and I have about another 50 on the roster that come as their other sports practices or drama practices or other things will let us have. We also no longer only have pre-AP students. I have students that are in the STRIVE program, I have special education students, and I have many, many regular students as well, because this is not just a math tutorial, it's not just a class, it's a way for them to see how math in their lives can be brought. No matter what level they're at, they can do something with math. And so one of the things that we have, and it's so amazing on Thursdays to see 60 to 80 students wear super geek shirts. And so our motto is that we're the coolest geeks in the school. And so it takes something like liking math and being teased for it to actually being a popular cool kid, because you get to wear this shirt. Only if you're in math club can you get to wear this shirt. And so I will have lots of students join because they want to join the geek club and they want to be in that, and they get their friends to join. It's a fun place to be, and it just becomes a really great opportunity for them to learn math. And so from that one grant, we have grown, like I said, to having over 100 students on our roster, 45 to or so in my room every week. And so we got another grant the next year, and as we continue to grow, the needs for the funds continue to grow with us. But we go to an algebra competition, so over the summer, the students will do work packets. So there is an aspect of kind of a classroom setting with math, but a lot of it is hands-on. A lot of it is stuff like origami. They do a service project where they make blankets. We do mathematical measurements and quilting and making blankets, and we donate those to Project Linus. They get to have a math night at the mid to end of every year. Last year, our math night was held right before spring break, because if you're not in the math world, you may not know that March 14th is Pi Day, 3.14 Pi Day. And so we had a big, unfortunately it's always on spring break, but right before spring break, we did a math night. We opened it up to the community, to all the students in the district. We have local businesses come in. We had a sports trainer come in and do math with their body metabolism and their heart rates. We had banks, we had other community members come in, and the students, my students, will each have a booth. They have to create their own student booth, and it kind of becomes like a passport. And the kids go around and they get a stamp after they do an activity. So we had math and music, we had band and choir involved, we had math and dance, the dance team got involved, and we do all these various things. And last year we had over 350 people go through the entire math night, and it was supposed to just be a couple of hours, and we ended up having to kick people out in the end. And so these are all the things that, because of the donations, the Education Foundation that you have, and because we're able to apply for these grants, that we wouldn't be able to do. And the impact is not just for the 7th and 8th grade year. The impact is far-reaching, far more reaching than that, because we get to have the younger students come into the math night, and then the competition at the University of Houston, once they're out of 8th grade, are still eligible to come back and compete, because it's a high school level competition. And so my first group of students that competed will now be competing as juniors in pre-calculus and calculus this year. And so they're able to continue year after year to utilize their strengths and their talents. And the students that didn't normally feel that they had talent and strength in math are getting more confident. I've had a lot of students who have not passed state assessment exams or done well in class, that their teachers are reporting, you know, they're folding origami paper in my class, but they're listening and paying attention while they're doing it, and they're telling other people about what they're learning in math class. And it gives them the confidence and the enjoyment of math, so it's not just a scary topic anymore. And so we have a lot of students, like I said, that are proud to be the coolest geek in school. And so thank you for your contribution to math and to our children in such an important subject. Thank you.